Hey everybody, it's Andrew from HoneyCart, and in this video I'm going to give you a demo on how to sync data over to QuickBooks. So for right now, you want to first make sure that HoneyCart is linked to QuickBooks properly, and then you want to make sure that some of your back-end settings like your taxes and your items are linked to the proper equivalents in your QuickBooks account. So the first thing you want to do is click on Settings so that you can just double check that your QuickBooks is connected, and you want to go to the integration section and click on QuickBooks, and you'll see here that it is authorized. So that means it's connected. You want to make sure that you set all of these settings here. Now the customer display name is important because this is how QuickBooks knows, that's how the main way that they tell your different customers apart. You know, like sometimes like Andrew Wu, that's me. I could come in with one email address and then next month come in with another email address. And, you know, I'm really the same person, but for the purposes of accounting, they need to know who's separate the two different, records. So that's what this is for. I'm going to leave my display name to be company and customer name. Next thing is, where do you want to deposit the payments that you get through HoneyCart into QuickBooks, which account? And so for this demo, I'm just going to use undeposited funds for credit cards and use the same thing for cash and for check. And this is probably a question that you want to make sure your accountant is telling you to do. Just from our experience, QuickBooks, the documentation always suggests to us to use undeposited funds. So that's what we do. But always check with your accountant. And everything else should be fine. Next thing you want to do is go to your store settings. And this is where you're going to be linking your item types and your sales taxes to QuickBooks. So first I'm going to do the item types. Just click on that. I have 3 of them. So I'm going to first start with the food. And I do have a food product in QuickBooks. So all this stuff is being pulled from your QuickBooks, right? So click on Save. Next. Do the same thing for my delivery fee. And you see it says linked when I link it. So last one here. All right, and now I want to go and do my sales taxes. Here I only have one sales tax set up for Virginia, but if you operate in several states, you're going to want to do this for each state. So here I just choose, again, all the stuff is being pulled out of my QuickBooks account. Click on Save, just like that. And now that that's all done, you should be ready to go and start syncing over your transactions. So when you sync over an order from HoneyCart, it's going to create a QuickBooks invoice. And along with any payments or refunds, it's going to sync over records to that and tie it back to the invoice. As far as your customers go, they're going to be synced over to QuickBooks and create the QuickBooks record for the customer profile over there. And one thing that people often run into a problem is with these display names. Sometimes Andrew Wu comes in here for work, and maybe he comes in orders separately for his personal. And it's going to get confused because it's going to treat both of them as Andrew Wu for the display name. And I believe this, I've set this demo up to show you that it's going to show that mistake. It's probably going to show me an error. So here you would sync the order along with any payments and refunds. The reason why we make these things optional, if you don't want to sync it, you can just uncheck it, is because sometimes your accountant maybe did something in QuickBooks and doesn't want to overwrite the changes by syncing data from HoneyCart over there. So we just make it flexible. But for most of you guys, you're always going to leave these things selected. So click on Sync, and automatically, immediately it's going to say, hey, another customer already has the same display name. So I'm going to show you how to fix this. So you want to go over to this customer's profile, right? And because it's saying, hey, somebody else with the same display name already exists, what you could do is you could put a number 2 on here, or if you want to put Andrew Wu Work or Andrew Wu Home, however you want to do it, it's just a quick fix like that. I'm just going to put number 2 here, right? And now you see it's been synced over successfully because now I got my ID from QuickBooks and it's set here. So if you ever do need to change this stuff, you can always come here and change it. So now let's go back to my orders. And I'm going to try to resync this order again. And for those of you wondering why you have to do this manually for each, for right now, this is a fairly new feature in HoneyCart. And we want to make sure that we get this working right according to how everybody needs it. And we don't want to just let you sync like 100 orders and then have your QuickBooks data not look right. And then, you know, your accountant ends up having to go through and clean everything up. So we just want to do this carefully at first. Later on, we'll try to come out with a kind of an automated or a bulk update, you know, clicking one button instead of doing it several times. So that's just how we try to be extra careful when it comes to your business data. So just go ahead and leave all this like that. Click sync. You're going to start seeing green check marks, which means that that's a successfully synced. I close out of this. I want to go over to my QuickBooks account now, and I will refresh my page, and then you're going to see my name pop up and my invoice along with my payment and the refund. And just to make this a little easier to look at, let's select Andrew Wu 2, right? You see the first one, that's the second one, click on that one. That's the one I just changed, who I just synced over, like that. You see my invoice has been paid. Here's my payments and my refunds. And you know, your accountant can come in and review all those refunds and all these payments and stuff like that. So if I click on the invoice, you'll just see here, it's paid. Here's the payment. If you click on that, you'll see that, right? And so that's pretty much it as far as syncing over normal orders go. But in HoneyCart, one more thing I want to show you is that we actually let you do corporate account billing, which means, like, for example, I have a corporate account in here from Microsoft, and Bill Gates is the guy who pays the bills, right? So when you have a HoneyCart invoice is when you take all of Bill's orders that he made over this period of time, and you just send him one bill. He gets charged one credit card charge and all that stuff. And it's all, when it goes over to QuickBooks, you're going to see an invoice in QuickBooks created for each of these. I know it's a little confusing that we call it a HoneyCart invoice, and then in QuickBooks it's also called an invoice, but it's for something else. But hopefully you're sticking with me on this. So basically you're going to see two orders go into QuickBooks as two separate invoices, but they're all linked back to Mr. Bill Gates who paid for it. And all the payments are going to be linked back to one single payment. So this order is all going to be linked back to one single payment. And I'll show you that right now. So here you see my two orders. Here you see my one payment. So I'm going to sync that over. Now I'm going to go over back to QuickBooks, clear this out. Now you see the Bill Gates data is here. Let's make it a little easier to look at. And I'm just going to refresh the page again. And can I find Bill Gates right here? So here you see the two separate orders, right? And then the one payment is linked to both of them. So open up my invoice. I'll look at this payment. The payment was for this amount, and you see both of my QuickBooks invoices here are linked to that payment. And so that's about it as for syncing data over to QuickBooks. Hopefully you and your accountant find this to be a time saver and allows you guys to keep all your business data straight. And if you have any questions, please let us know at info@gethoneycart.com. Thanks.